Nimrod.
Wait,
Where's the new Vegas run, Nimrod?
the what?
You know, the video. The one that you said would be done months ago. Where is it? This video right here?
But I've been busy, I swear to God. But it's finished, it's right here.
You know, from where you're sitting, this seems like a normal challenge run. But the truth is, the video was rigged from the start.
Wait, no. Let's begin, shall we? The NCR, aka the New California Republic, is basically the IRS of the Wasteland. They kick down doors and inspect your pants.
Since you haven't pissed yourself, I'll assume that you don't know who we are.
And tax you for breathing too loud. They've got a strong military, iconic armor, and enough bureaucracy to make a Deathclaw file a complaint form. So, I had to ask myself, can I be the one kicking down doors and inspecting pants? Respectfully. And beat Fallout New Vegas only using standard issue NCR equipment. In the beginning of the game, I firstly discovered the secret to gambling. Step 1, play. Step 2, lose. Step 3, you cheat. And then get caught immediately. As a result, I get shot in the face by a man in a checkered suit who clearly shops at Mafia Gap. And then I am saved by Mustache Mitchell in Goosestrings, who apparently has a PhD in gluing heads together. I do a little character work and end up looking like Laser Purple's long-lost cousin. Finally, I named myself Lajos, because I thought it would be funny. I smashed through some dialogue, mess around with the vigor tester, and assign my special points. For strength, I needed enough to actually use the NCR guns without dislocating my arms. I took a few points into agility for faster gunplay and reloads, which come in handy. And I took quite a few points into luck for those sweet criticals. And I kept a little perception for the better criticals perk, because why not make criticals even more broken? And sprinkled some into charisma for barter, because, you know, why kill when you can mildly annoy people into submission? I get guns, medicine, and barter as my main skills. For traits, I grab Beer to Destroy and Wild Wasteland, because I crave chaos. After that, I eat all the DLC gear into the sun, because mama raised no bitch, and grind through the tutorial quests for some healing powder, a vermin rifle, and a little tad bit of experience. I beat up some power gangers as well for practice, and then Joe Cobb, an amateur gang leader, donates me my second weapon, a 357 Magnum. Thanks Joe, very charitable of you. And then on my way to find the motherfucker that shot me, I roll into Prim. I meet Lieutenant Hayes, who is the first real NCR personnel in the entire game. He lets me know about the NCR correction facility, which is basically a playground for criminals at this point. In Prim, there's a little situation. I saved Deputy Bagels from some escaped convicts. There's a tiny little problem though. Prim does not have a sheriff anymore, and without one, it's basically Desert Hunger Games. Bagel suggests finding someone to wear the spurs. Since I wanted to stay loyal to the NCR, I asked them if they could help, but Hayes told me they did not have enough manpower to take over Prim. So, he sent me out to the Mojave outpost for some backup. On the way there, I suffered raiders, ghouls, general existential dread, you name it. I somehow made it to the outpost. Used the barter perk to get some extra troops from Major Knight, because, as usual, charisma is overpowered, and headed back to Prim. I tell Bagel the great news. Congratulations, Prim. You've been peacefully annexed into the NCR. Q confetti made out entirely from tax forms. With Prim under NCR jurisdiction, I continued my way towards Novak to hunt down Benny. On the way, I rolled into Ripton, a town that looks like it lost a fist fight at a Molotov cocktail. There, I met Oliver, you know, the lottery winner, who definitely isn't annoying at all. Oh no, look at those pesky natural causes. They got him. Inside Nipton, I find out the Legion rolled through and crucified everyone. They left a very smug furry fanboy named Vulpus to brag about it. Let's just say, he's no longer alive. But before I killed him, he told me to spread the fear to the NCR, which, being a good trooper and forgetting about side quests, I did not tell anybody. While fighting my way deeper into the Mojave, I come across Checkpoint Charlie. This place is going to be crucial later, so I take a mental note. Do not blow it up. Today, maybe tomorrow, but not today. When I finally arrive at Novak, the point where I could find something about Benny, I met Ranger Andy. He told me lots about life as a ranger and mentioned that he had lost contact with Checkpoint Charlie. At the time, I didn't think much of it. I had bigger things to worry about. After that, I met Manny, one of Novak's 2 snipers. He said he knew where Benny went, but of course, he wasn't just going to hand me that information. First, I had to clear some ghouls out of the Rapcon facility near Novak. You know, just the regular, more slave labor. As soon as I stepped into Rapcon, someone immediately started yelling at me through the intercom. They demanded I head upstairs and meet with them. When I got up there, I found a cult of ghouls led by a glowing one named Jason Bright or whatever. Jason explained that the basement was infested with what he calls demons, which were actually turned out to be Nightkin. Stealthy, purple-skinned super mutants obsessed with using stealth boys. Still, not nearly as scary as what popped out of Doc Mitchell's office.
I will burn this planet down.
Clearing the basement was rough. The Nightkin were invisible, angry, and one of them even had a flamethrower. Because of course they did, why wouldn't they? While down there, I ran into Harlan, a ghoul who asked me to find his partner. His partner was trapped somewhere deeper in the basement. After fighting my way through, I found his partner, but sadly, she was already dead. I gave Harlan the bad news and moved on swiftly. When I returned upstairs, Jason said they still needed a few components to launch their rockets. They were like supposed to escape to some magical land with them. I never really got that part. He told me to talk to their engineer, Chris, who was definitely just a normal, regular ghoul and not a human at all. Definitely. Chris handed me a shopping list. He needed atomic fuel and a thrust control module. Ah yes, I just go down to the store, buy a cap of Nuka-Cola and get those 2 things as well. Why isn't it that easy? After a bit of searching around, I found the atomic fuel on the body of a dead man east of Novak. Because, you know, that's just Fallout for ya. The thrust control modules cost a painful 500 caps at all Data Gibson scrapyard. I had a few things about this. 1. Where the hell did she find this? 2. You are an evil woman, Gibson. I like those caps. I named them Steve. Yes, all 500 of them were named Steve. On my way back, I stumbled across Helios 1 and fought through some more raiders. I still had no armor, so bullets still hurt, but you know, when you have firepower to counter it, pain magically stops existing. Later, I made it into Boulder City, where I picked up my main weapon for the run, the hunting rifle. Because I invested heavily into guns, I was able to use it properly. Finally, I returned to Rapcon, launched rockets for Jason and his glowing cult, and closed that weird chapter of my life. Back in Novak, I finished Boone's quest. Boone, you know, the other sniper, which of course involved some heads exploding, you know. Sadly, since companions were not allowed in this challenge, Boone could not come with me. After that, I talked to Manny again, and finally got the information I needed. Benny and the Counts headed up towards Boulder City. There was one slight issue. Me, being a completely normal and intelligent person, completely forgot to mark Boulder City on my map. So, I couldn't just fast travel back there, no. I had to painstakingly walk all the way back. But before that, I finally remembered Ranger Andy saying something about Checkpoint Charlie, so I decided to check it out. When I got there, the place was a wreck, torn up, everyone dead. Seems pretty pleasant. You know, I might actually settle down here, start a thriving family, and just leave the whole Benny thing behind. Is what I would have said if he didn't also steal the platinum chip. Shoot me in the head all you want, but I'm a dedicated mailman, so you are not fucking getting away. But hey, free ranger armor and guns. I reported back to Ranger Andy what I found and made my way to Boulder City, which, yes, again, I had to fucking walk. When I reached Boulder City, I found an intense standoff between NCR troops and the Khans. My job was supposed to be to negotiate a peace or surrender between the Khans and the NCR. Instead, I may or may not have shot every Khan in the place. But hey, a win's a win. They did stand down. Unfortunately, Benny wasn't there anymore, so I had no choice but to head to the New Vegas Strip. He's a slivery little bastard. But on the bright side, we are heading to Gambling Central. Along the way, I found Camp McCarran, a major NCR base. I picked up a whole bunch of side quests there. I hunted down 3 Fiend leaders and delivered their heads back to the camp. All nice and intact. Well, mostly. Because of bloody mess, it was a pain to get those. One of the Fiends, Cook, left a particular traumatic impression on me.
What do you have to do, like?
You need to kill Cook, like... So the game asks you to bring Cook's head back, while it not looking like a fine face, but fucking Cook doesn't like to do that. After dealing with all the Fiend leaders and convincing a sniper to go to therapy, yes, that really did happen, I headed into the strip to deal with Benny. However, there was a small issue. None of my weapons were allowed in the casino where Benny was hiding at. I tried all kinds of ways to bring something in, but they all failed. Until by sheer luck and the game being broken, I got through the check without my weapons being taken away. Let's just say Benny did not have a fun time. Firstly, a heart attack, because he could see me again. Secondly, a bullet to the head. I would classify that as a not that good of a time. Back at Camp McCarran, I helped with an interrogation, which may or may not have involved beating the shit out of a Legion soldier. Even after that, the Fiends still controlled a large part of the area, especially around Vault 3. So, I stormed the vault, wiped out all the Fiends, and rescued the NCR Ranger who was trapped inside. Meanwhile, I got roped into investigating the disappearance of Corporal White. God, I swear it's like I actually have to play the game. I just want to kill things and spread taxes across the Mojave. Following the trail of the Corporal led me to Westside, where I found that the followers of the Apocalypse, a faction who is trying to help the everyday people of the Wasteland, were stealing water. I uncovered that Anderson, one of the followers, had killed White when he found out. After a little bit of a confrontation, we agreed Westside could keep its water, but Anderson would face justice for the murder. Back at Camp McCarran, they discovered a mole inside the base, leaking information to the Legion. Not like an actual mole. Snuffles may commit heinous war crimes, but being a mole is not one of them. Look at him. Behind those dead eyes, there's a schemer. I waited near the radio tower, which was where the mole was communicating to the Legion, and caught Curtis in the act. Unfortunately, he had already planted a bomb on the monorail, the only connection between Camp McCarran and the strip. I rushed to stop it, but the train departed before I could do anything. I watched helplessly as it exploded. The connection to the strip gone. Since I was already deep into Southwest territory, I decided to head to Nellis Air Force Base to meet the Boomers. After doing a series of loyalty quests for them, they agreed to help the NCR. While I was at it, I also cleared the NCR correctional facility of powder gangers. Let's just say a lot of red mist was involved and many flying body parts. For whatever reason, I couldn't tell you, I also unlocked the Lord Death perk, which gave me a damage buff against everything. To help me out in the main story, I decided to do the quests for the kings. This included making Oris, a corrupt bodyguard, regret existing.
Hey, hold up. This don't feel right. Now it don't feel right? I could have told you.
And helping out during a shooting between the kings and the NCR. Sadly, I needed to help the kings, so rest in peace to the NCR soldiers who were there. After an absolutely stupid amount of side quests, I finally figured out what I needed to do. I needed to head over to the NCR embassy, where I finally met Ambassador Dennis. He needed help dealing with the Boomers. Luckily, since I had completed their quests beforehand, I was able to easily convince them to support the NCR. I also needed to deal with the kings, and that's exactly why I needed to do their side quests earlier. The favor you earn at the end of their questline can be used to convince the kings to peacefully accept the NCR's presence. After getting everything sorted, I got sent to Hoover Dam, the place where the NCR and the Legion were gearing up for an all-out war. Once at the dam, I spoke with Colonel Cassandra. She sent me on a mission to clear out the Great Khans, and so I did, just the usual, leaving no one behind. Next, I was sent to investigate the Omertas, who were suspected of collaborating with the Legion. The person who could help me with this was Kachino, who worked inside Gamora and was very close to the Flamilies in a circle. He wasn't going to help easily, so I had to blackmail him using his own journal that I stole off of his person. We don't talk about that. Along the way, I completed a few tasks, like helping someone escape a shady contract and destroying a weapon shipment meant to supply the Legion. The final nail in the coffin was killing Big Sal and Nero, the two heads of the Omertas. To be fair, it was quite easy with an anti-materia rifle. After wrapping out Gamora, it was the usual routine, back to Hoover Dam for more work. For the next part, it was crucial that I had kept the platinum chip from Benny. It made dealing with Mr. House so much easier. All I had to do was head up to the Lucky 38 penthouse, go to one of the side doors with the platinum chip, and gain access to Mr. House's life support chambers. After fighting through some security, I finally reached him. Instead of killing him outright, because the game didn't let me, trust me, I tried, I chose to disconnect him from the system and left him trapped to suffer. Outside the main story, the only extra thing I did was head back to Camp McCarran, because if your reputation with the NCR is liked or higher, you can gain access to the NCR Ranger safe house, located below Rapcon. Inside, I found some really good gear, including an NCR Ranger combat armor and salvaged power armor. At this point, there were only like 3 things left between me and the end of the game. The first task was to wipe out the Brotherhood of Steel. Thanks to the anti-materia rifle and my infinite critical hits, I made short work of them. The second, surviving the presidential visit. There were multiple assassination attempts during the event, but you know, I managed to disarm or kill any of the attackers and kept the president safe. I totally did not restarted this section at least 10 times just to figure out who the fuck was doing what. And finally, the last obstacle was the second battle of Hoover Dam. It was a hard-fought battle where I used everything in my arsenal. The repeater, the hunting rifle, and of course the anti-materia rifle. Even an old friend from the beginning of the game, my 44 Magnum revolver, made an appearance. But we didn't just defend the dam, we pushed further, storming the Legion's base on the other side. There, I came face to face with the last challenge of this run, Legate Lanius. After dying a lot and healing just enough to survive, I finally managed to take him down. The rest of the NCR troops showed up shortly after, and General Oliver Lee personally congratulated me for ending the Legion's threat. In the end, I was proud to have beaten the game as an NCR trooper. Thank you guys so much for watching till the end. This has been a long time coming. The first recording stayed back over 10 months ago, but hey, it's finally here. Also, since this is my first video, I would really appreciate some feedback, and once again, thank you.